Hey, Scorpio, welcome in, welcome back. It is Laura, and we are going to get you a reading for this upcoming new moon solar eclipse in Aries happening on March 29th. And so we're kind of in between eclipse energies. We're kind of in this portal of a brand new beginning, a fresh start, but we kind of got to go through what I want to call this karmic checkpoint. And so the card that just flew out, it came out in reversed. What I feel is this energy, Scorpio, I don't know what's going on here, but I just feel there's been some blurred boundaries between the past and the future. And I do feel a Seven of Cups in reverse coming through with this go the distance in reverse. We see the cheetah card. If we look at this card upright, Scorpio, I don't know if you've been in a connection here where we see the checkered flag. I think it's kind of just time to wave the white flag. I think things have gone dry. Communication has gone dry. I want to say there's something here. It doesn't feel like it's got what it takes to go the distance. And look at that on the bottom of the deck. Well, that's just a clarifying card for sure. Time to go. What is it that you need to leave behind? Because I do think there are some deep-seated emotions and you've got to surrender something here. I don't think this is going to make any logical sense. And I don't know if you know exactly where it is you're going, but if you can see on the card, there is a doorway in the distance. And I want to say like you're crossing a bridge, you're crossing a threshold. It's really time to leave. What I want to say is this Five of Cups energy behind. I really do feel this energy of a Five of Cups, and I do feel like a Seven of Cups in reverse. So I gotta say, if we've got this Five of Cups energy coming through upright with the Seven of Cups in reverse, there's a Two of Cups in reverse at play that Spirit is showing me in my third eye. And I just think maybe red flags have been ignored. Maybe you thought, hey, I can make this go the distance. And maybe you're trying to force a connection here. But I do think this powerful eclipse is saying, hey, you've got to invite in some downloads here. You've got to close out a cycle because the same day as the eclipse, Mercury retrograde is going to be leaving Aries. It's going to be going back into Pisces. And I just want to say, where have you been the martyr? Where have you blurred the boundaries in a connection? And where have you maybe played into people pleasing and codependencies? I just want to say either you're dealing with somebody that keeps seeking external validation, or you need that validation from this reading to say, hey, it's time to surrender a connection here. Scorpio, something here is coming to an end. That's really what this message is. And I just feel like, look at this image. I just got to say, like, oh my gosh, look at this image. And so the flag waving, I just want to say, like, I don't know if you are exhausted, if you're at an end point, or if there's something here that just can't be sustained. We get the dry desert. We get it in the reversed position. And so really there's either a relationship or a situationship here, or a situation, whether it's work or love, romance, family. I don't know what's going on here, but something here was built on, I want to say, a faulty foundation. It was built on quicksand and it was never ever meant to last. And so I want to say there's a connection here where the energy has run dry and you got to go forward, right? Continuing in this connection is I want to say futile. It's futile. And so I don't know if there's a connection here that it just feels like, Scorpio, it feels like emotional depletion. Maybe you've been isolated in this relationship, but I feel a lack of nourishment. I feel a lack of sustainability. And I do feel the flag energy is like, hey, it's a checkered flag. Stop playing games. I don't know if you're dealing with somebody playing games, but I just feel this represents surrender. And maybe you're coming into this realization of like, hey, I'm trying to force something to work here, and it's just not in alignment with your highest good. And the time to go card is a major clarification, reinforcing this message of, hey, it's time to go. It's time to depart or transition through a situation. It's time to bring something to the end. And then we get the come to the edge card in reverse, which for me is like a 10 of wands in reverse and a combination to the Fool reverse. There's a burden here. It's heavy. It's time to let it go. And maybe this does kind of feel like home, but I want to say what feels familiar, Scorpio, is often a deeply rooted pattern connected to some type of family issues all the way back to childhood. And so there's a familiar pattern here And it's like the never-ending story, like, Scorpio, it's time to let this go. I do feel there's a separation here. I do feel like if you just kind of look at the imagery on this card, you're crossing a bridge, you're crossing a threshold. I just want to say, burn the bridge down. Get to the other side. It doesn't matter where you're going, but burn the bridge. You're on a one-way journey. There's a one-way ticket here, I want to say, and there is no turning back. This isn't just about walking away from something that's stuck and stagnant. Oh, Bailey didn't like that. Give me 1 minute here. Give me 1 second. Sorry about the dog barking. I did have to pause the video at 5 minutes and 33 seconds. 33 seconds. So that's pretty significant energies connected to numerology, Scorpio. It's the Hierophant and the Seven of Wands. And so I do think you're learning a very valuable lesson. I kind of feel you need to recognize that the path ahead requires letting go entirely. It's time to step into a new chapter. It really is. And I do think this eclipse is saying there is a powerful reset here. There is this energy I feel coming through of initiation, clearing and cutting away what no longer serves you. And so I just want to take it back to this bridge. They really want me to talk about the bridge, because the bridge can be taken as a metaphor of all kinds of things, right? Like you're standing at the edge, right? You're standing at the edge here with Come to the Edge. You're standing at the edge. And it's like you're hesitant to cross because the path forward is unknown, right? And there might be a doorway there, but you might not be sure of what's on the other side of that doorway. And so this is a big message of saying, head into the unknown, right? And so I don't know if you already realize this or not, but I think the bridge has already been burning behind you anyway. And so I don't think the past is really an option anymore. And so I do think this eclipse is going to feel really intense. I do think, Scorpio, this energy is no stranger than the death and the rebirth process of your sign altogether. And so this is a moment where I think you've got to let something go. That's really what I'm feeling. And so maybe you need to reflect on this relationship or this situation and why have you been forcing it, or if you're dealing with somebody that's been forcing it. But this energy is dry and it's time for you to fly. I want to say it's time for you to fly. We get the Queen of Wands, so we get Leo energy. I just feel it's time to walk away. It's time to reclaim back your power. It's time to reclaim back your magic. What else needs to go with this Queen of Wands? What else does the tarot have to say in connection to this message? We get the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. That's a pattern. And so there is some type of familiarity here. I want to say a familiar pattern. And I don't know if it's connected to rushing into things or calling in partnerships where they lack emotional depth and emotional maturity. There's passion, all right. And as fast as this passion comes in, it's out the door, right? And so I just think you got to burn this bridge. You got to move on. Look at that. There's the Six of Swords, another card of it's time to go. It's like if you don't leave this situation on your own, Spirit is going to drag you out of this situation. We see three crows dragging this boat through the water, and we see the three crows in behind. And so once again, a split. There's a splitting in the energies is really what I'm feeling with this card. And so the Six of Swords is saying, hey, things are emotionally turbulent. Oh, I've never really noticed that on this card. And so there's like one sword in the boat. There's one singular sword in the boat. And you already know this truth, right? And so you've recognized the red flags. She's covered in a red cloth here. To me, that's an indication of a huge red flag. So don't go back to something. I don't think you can go back to something. Spirit is pulling you out of a situation. There definitely is some type of, I want to say like a relationship cycle, a repeated relationship cycle. And so what I think Spirit is calling you to do, Scorpio, is to find your confidence in your self-worth, to embody the powerful energy that is asking you to go towards independence, right? And so where I think there might be a struggle here, the Queen of Wands energy, so pay attention to where Aries, Leo, Sagittarius is in your birth chart. It's almost like you admire people, I want to say, or you attract people. You attract people. It's like this is an admirable energy is how I'm trying to put this. So you attract people who admire your strength, your fire, your magnetism, your leadership qualities, your magic, but they struggle to match your energy, right? This is so not even close to any type of energy match. And so I don't know if you keep encountering partners here, Scorpio, who are drawn to your light, drawn to your magic, but they're unwilling to build something stable, right? And so I do feel there is like a broken commitment here or a lack of long-term stability. The Knight of Wands in reverse, there is no staying power here. There is no long-term stability here. It's like a relationship cycle or a pattern where you constantly magnetize people in, but it never ever reaches full commitment. It comes in with passion. It feels promising, and either somebody pulls away, whether it's you or another person, and there's this refusal to build something long lasting. And I do think it is connected to a family pattern, all the way back to some type of childhood wound. And maybe you witnessed this type of instability in your home life, in your family life growing up, and it plays out again and again and again and again in a certain relationship pattern. This is like the ultimate card of inconsistency. I do gotta say that, right? It's like I'm hearing that Katy Perry song, you're hot, then you're cold. So go listen to that song. It's like you're dealing with somebody that's hot and cold, in and out, back and forth, somebody that rushes in with passion, but they can't sustain it, right? Dark Horse too. I'm hearing that Katy Perry song, Dark Horse. And so I do feel a very karmic energy here. This can also indicate a player, somebody who thrives on excitement and getting it in the bag, and then avoids that deep emotional investment, right? And so if this is a repeated pattern, Scorpio, I do feel this eclipse is kind of going to bring it to a breaking point, right? Because I think there's something very dark here. I think it's almost like this energy, I want to say, of the dark night of the soul. And I do think this eclipse is revealing the pattern that's kind of been in the dark. The sun in reverse is like something here is draining your vitality. Something here is really suggesting like, hey, this was never meant to last. This was meant to maybe show you the darker side of relationship patterns, and the eclipse is going to bring this to light, right? And I do feel these two energies coming out in reverse. It's like this confirms that there was something here that was never built on stability, right? And so maybe you're dealing with somebody who's fun, who's passionate, but doesn't have the energy to provide long-term stability or to even grow up or to even be loyal. And so this is definitely, I feel, a repeated pattern of attracting partners who are exciting at first. And what partnership isn't exciting at first, and the masks kind of fall off. There's inconsistency here. So I don't know, maybe you're drawn in by passion, but maybe you're unable to commit. I don't know. Take that message however it resonates, but there's a subconscious force at play here. There's a hidden spiritual force at play here. You are being guided away from the chaos. You are being guided towards calmer waters. But the image of these crows dragging the boat, it's like, I want to say spirit is intervening here. I don't even think this is a choice anymore. I really don't. I think it's divine intervention. So if you've been resisting letting go of a certain relationship, the eclipse is kind of forcing them out or forcing you out, and might even feel like you're being pulled away against your will. But this is kind of happening, I want to say, for your protection, for your evolution. I do think this is a major karmic reset. I do think it's like the unwillingness. I feel this major unwillingness to release. But maybe breaking this pattern, Scorpio, is about finally accepting that, hey, like, you deserve more. Like, where have you been in a cycle of accepting less than what you deserve? You deserve commitment. You deserve somebody who matches your energy, right? You deserve somebody who matches your energy, Scorpio. You deserve to, I want to say, you deserve to know the pattern, because I think you've been here before. And it's time to choose differently. But are you ready to choose differently, right? I think you might need to ask yourself, maybe you are already in the shadows, asking yourself, Why do you keep attracting the same partnership cycles? Why do you keep attracting the same type of people who are passionate but inconsistent? Where have you been settling for instability and thinking, hey, it's going to change, it's going to change? It isn't going to change. It's not going to go the distance here, right? And I think there's like almost like a disillusioned energy coming through. And I think spirit is trying to remove you from a situation because I think ultimately it's probably draining you of your energy and your vitality. But you also have to be willing to stop chasing after things that aren't meant for you. Stop chasing after people and things that aren't meant for you, because the eclipse, I want to say, is trying to bring in something so much better for you, Scorpio. But I think you gotta cross the bridge. You got to come to the edge, you got to cross the bridge, and you even got to burn it so that no one can kind of drag you back down into the past. So let's get a closing message here. Let's see what the Spiritual Journey Oracle cards have to say.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa's not quite sure how to help you with this. Very interesting. Some strange things have been happening in this reading. So I don't know if you got some strange spiritual experiences happening around you, but forgiveness. I think really the biggest thing here, the biggest takeaway here is you got to forgive yourself for not knowing any better. You've got to liberate yourself from this heart pain of repeating the same cycles over and over and over again. So where do you need to offer forgiveness to another or even yourself? Because I do think the message is loud. This is a message about liberation, and you already intuitively know this. So listen to that gut intuition. I do think things are shifting and you feel it and you're right. And so if you've ignored that gut intuitive feeling, it's time to trust it, right? It's like your higher self knows what's best for you, and this ain't it, Scorpio. So let me know down below if this resonates. Let me know what you think of the message, and good luck through the eclipse, Scorpio.